I work in an auto shop as a tire technician with a pretty good group of guys, and one day we were working, and we saw my manager come through the shop walking some girl around, and none of us recognized her, and he was kind of like giving her a tour, showing her like what some stuff there did, like the machines. And so when we noticed she left, we went up to his office and asked who she was, and he kind of laughing, like while laughing, he said that she was in for an interview. I didn't really think much of his laughing. I just said, "Oh, okay," and, moved on. And then a couple weeks later, I walked into the shop, and I'd already been thinking like it was weird that she hadn't started because most people started a week after their interview. And I noticed a new guy with our trainer, so I went up to the sales floor and I asked my manager, who's that guy out there? And he's like, "Oh, that's Zach. He's a new hire." I said, "Oh, yeah, cool. What happened to the girl that was in here a couple of weeks ago?" And he told me that he didn't believe that she was the best fit for the job, and he thought Zach would be better, even though Zach applied after her, because he didn't specifically say this, but because it was, ultimately because she didn't live up to his masculine ideals of being emotionally and physically strong enough to do tires, which I mean it doesn't take much. And I just thought that was extremely sexist, and it kind of upset me. And I went and talked to some of my coworkers about it, and they shared my anger about the situation and the sympathy for the girl who was just told that we didn't really need the help right now in the shop, which we did. And none of us really realized the privilege we had when we applied for the job, that we would just be hired in, basically guaranteed, because we were males. I I wish I would have said something to my manager about that, but he was my boss, and I really I didn't know what I should say. I just kind of, said okay afterwards, and I wish I would have said more about how it was wrong, but I felt like he could reprimand me for that, and I don't know, I was just kind of worried. And I maybe if I would have said something, maybe he would have, thought differently when girls had applied in the future and given them an opportunity then. But honestly, me saying anything isn't really going to change his beliefs and his ideology. As with most people, they're kind of just set in what they think. And my agency was just kind of limited because I'm like the lowest position at the shop, and even if I or a few of my coworkers were to say something to my manager, he's ultimately the one who makes the decisions, and it's it's not really going to have much effect. And even if this is more of a common problem than just my manager, it's like the mindset of many in the auto industry that automobile work is men's work. And I believe this situation represents a greater system of oppression in the auto industry and in society, that men are almost always granted the position over equally qualified women for auto jobs in the shops, dealerships, for manufacturers even. And these structural constraints present in the auto industry, they perpetuate like a system in which women are unequal and restricted in the type of work they can do. Although this situation is unfortunate, I don't think that it's possible to do anything alone as one person, but together, if enough people got together to say something about this, that we could cause a big change in the auto industry.